Whoa! Well, here we are at the Flying Can Ranch in Athens, Texas. Now, I want to go over something that I kind of have one, but not this way. So, what we're going to talk about today is the Crosman Magfire, and this is the Mission. We're going to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, and there's that thing. Pretty much the same thing on the other side. We'll bring it up. See if I can do this without the barrel hitting something. And we're going to swing it around. Yes, it does have actual sights on it. I'm going to bring it around and show you here on the business end. And now we'll go over some real quick specs on this. Again, this is the Crosman Magfire Ultra. Now, they also make this in an Extreme, and I'm sorry, this is the Magfire Mission. They also make this in the Extreme, which is about $229. They also make it in the Ultra, which is about $212. But I found this one here for like $179. And I'm sure they all pretty much work the same way, but for a multi-fire caulking air gun, that's a pretty good price. So now this is, we'll go over some specs real quickly. This is the 22 caliber. Now on the Mission, I'm sorry, on the Extreme and the Ultra, I think you can get them at 177. I only could find this one in the 22 caliber. So the gun itself shoots, they say with alloy pellets, about 975. And it hits really hard. And we're going to show you that when we do a shooting review. The overall length of this gun is going to be about 46.5 inches. The barrel length is about, I would say 21 inches. And the overall weight is going to be 9.80 pounds. It does have a 2-stage adjustable trigger. It has the quiet fire technology on the barrel. And it has a 10-shot mag. Now, when I looked this up online, Aero Depot, it says it comes by a 4x32 AO scope. Now, I got this one from Academy Sports, so I don't know if there's a difference. What came in the box was just one of these basic kind of like all plastic scopes, and I couldn't do with it what I wanted to do with it. So I just basically slammed one of my Winchester AO scopes on it. So, but I've been shooting this for a couple of days now. Now this is a what they call that, a nitro piston type arrangement on it. So it's not a Springer. It's that new nitro piston type thing. Some people love it, some people don't. You do have an 11mm dovetail, and like I said, I dropped one of these Winchester AOs on here, and I've got it where I think pretty good. So one of the things we're going to go over here is this piece right up here. This is your mag, so you got to pinch it, wiggle it out. When you take it out of your gun, when you're fresh, I still think this one is loaded and ready to go. But it says 1. I don't believe, I'm going to test this in just a second. Well, I guess you can. We'll try it. What you want to do when you load this thing, and I forgot I had it already loaded, but I'll show you very quickly. You can load the pellet on this side of the magazine, not on this side. So I'm going to turn this, and it's going to click. Now it says 0. There's a little 0 there. That's where you want, is on that 0. So you're going to load these in nose first from where you see the numbers, which are going to be facing you once it's in the gun. I know that sounds confusing. You don't want the blue side. You want the solid black. And you're going to put them in this slot right here, nose down. Line it up, go to the next one, line it up, go to the next one. And they're pretty easy to load. And then once you get it loaded, you're going to take it. You're going to see if I can get that lined up here. Push down on it and click, and you're in. So each time you cock, you move to the next round. It's a very simple design. Now, as I said, I put this scope, it's got a little hole in the back to keep it from this scope sliding back on you. So I put this scope on it. It's rubberized back here. There's no real stippling right here, but it doesn't slide on you. This is kind of soft, very solid, you know, carbon fiber or whatever they call it, stock. It does have a steel trigger. This is a manual safety. So as usual, back is safe, forward is fire. It's got some pretty good grip right around the this back handle. As we move forward, we'll get it in the light. A lot of texturing up here, up in here. On the Ultra, it has little things that hang down for a sling. This doesn't have this. They all weigh about the same pound. I'll be honest with you, I think they're all the same gun except the stock configuration. But, you know, I would, like I said, I looked it up on Air Gun Depot and it said it came by a 4x32 AO scope. This is an actual 4x32 AO where you can adjust it up here. This down here is not an AO scope. And that's what I kind of suspected, because that's usually what comes in these scope package deals. It is what it is. Now, it does have a rear sight that is adjustable for windage and elevation, but there's no fiber optics to it. And then you have a blade way up at the front again, no fiber optic to that. Me personally, I would have preferred they'd been fiber optic in some fashion, but they're not. And this is right out of the box, so I haven't done anything special to it. I just slapped this scope on it, and then I went to shooting it. You know, that's what I did right off the top. Now, at 9.80 pounds, I would imagine this would be a little heavy. If you wanted to carry it out in the field all day, probably wouldn't drive me nuts. I don't personally hunt anymore, but I just like the configuration on it. The deal was I bought a SIG MCX Rattler BB gun and it didn't work. And I took it back to Academy, but they didn't have anything to replace it with, so I added about 32 bucks to the thing and ended up with this one. So now I got this to review. And I got another Rattler that with 2 mags that works quite well, so we'll be reviewing that probably tomorrow. But I tried to find the original one. I had to do a comparison with them, but all in all, this thing's quite comfortable. Fits up the shoulder pretty good, and this glass is working pretty good. I've used these Winchester scopes for quite a while, and we're going to try to roll this out at about 75 yards. So I wanted to share that with you. There's not a whole lot more I can tell you about it. You know, you see this barrel design on a lot of Benjamins and Crosmans both, you know, and really it's fairly quiet. I think if you are living in a densely populated urban area, you may not get away with it, but I can definitely get away with it out here and where I used to live. So I haven't adjusted the trigger or anything like that. We're going to shoot it pretty much out of the box. What you see is what you get, with the exception of the scope. So we're going to set this down here. Now I'll be using these these Crosman hollow points in it. Those are about a 14.3 grain. And that's what we're going to be doing the shooting review with. But if you'll bear with me, put that back in my pocket so I don't lose it. I want to step back a little bit and just kind of show it one more time where you can see it a little bit more complete. And again, it's no different on the other side, but kind of like that. A little dark over this area. I still got to figure out a way to get rid of all that. But I like the way it's in this stock configuration. To me, kind of reminds me a little bit of a thumb hole stock, somewhat. But I was able to get it up and get it zeroed. Had to play with it a little bit. The first scope I put on it was another Winchester. I took off something. It was whacking like everywhere, crazy. And I never had that problem before. So I decided I had this spare one. So I ripped that one off, put this one on, and then I was able to dial it in pretty quick. So we will get this posted, and then I'll get set up over at the other end, and we'll see if we can get a good shooting review out. And that's how we do it at Flying Can Ranch. I will see you in a little bit. Yes, we did go for a bike ride. We got about 81 miles in. We didn't really get toasty. Right now for July, this is excellent for Texas. It is. Last summer, this time of day, you just want to climb in a house and hide. So we're doing pretty good. So let me get this posted. We're going to get set up for a shooting review, and I will be right back with you.